These are plastic toothpicks, and this story doesn't end well for me, but it taught me one of my biggest marketing lessons. Hey, Scott here. Welcome back to the Marketing for Business podcast. I think it's the 2nd of January. If you're listening to this, it's 2025. And today I thought I'd share a story, and I'm going to keep it lighthearted because while it really hurt me at the time, it's actually one of the biggest marketing lessons I learned. So these are plastic toothpicks, and probably some 20, maybe 5 years ago, I saw an ad in the paper, and I thought, you know what, that is a job for me. And I left a really good job that I enjoyed. I kind of enjoyed it that much because I wanted to leave, but I was working for Bond & Bond. That dates me, if you know what Bond & Bond was. It's similar to what Noel Leemings is today, where essentially I was selling TVs, microwaves, vacuum cleaners, you name it, VCRs, a whole bunch of stuff. It was a really, really cool job, but I always wanted to get out and be a rep or get on the road and stuff. And I saw this job, and it was really, really well written, and it was an advertising job, an advertising role. So essentially what happened is it turned up, and this role here was like matches back in the day. You could advertise on the front of these of a matchbox. People would get the lighted out, light your cigarette, etc. And this was a play similar to advertising, and it was for plastic toothpicks. I can't imagine how this would go well today. It's single-use plastic, etc. But hey, back 20-something odd years ago, I think it's 25 years ago. So this was the play, and it was to sell businesses advertising. And I vividly remember, at Bond & Bond, people would come in the door. Their marketing dragged people in. People would actually come in sometimes with the ad that was run on a Saturday and say, hey, I want to buy this Black Diamond VCR, or I want to buy this, the Sony T29 TV. And it was relatively easy to sell people stuff. You still had to know what you were talking about, and you had to be personal and all that type of stuff and ask for the sale, etc. But it wasn't like going out cold calling. And but I thought, when I got this role, I was like, right, I'm going to do it. So I quit my job at Bond & Bond, and day one I'm learning about the play advertising. I'm thinking, okay, I could sell advertising and the toothpicks, etc. Day two was to go out and sell it. And I was like, okay, so where are my leads? Like, where do I go? Like, you just want me to go? Have you got appointments ready for me? And he goes, no. You got to go find them. You got to go cold calling. And I was like, cold what? And he was like, cold calling. You've got to go and approach people. And I was like, oh my God, this is so foreign. People just need to come in the door and I'd sell them stuff. And, I thought I was so good at this. And then all of a sudden, cold calling. And I vividly remember he said, look, go and find some pubs, and sell them the advertising play. They'll be used to, spending money on advertising. People need this, they need these because, they've got problems with their teeth, etc. and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, so I remember going out to this place in New Brighton. Why I picked New Brighton, I'm not sure. Maybe it was because it was the furthest way to drive. I'm not sure. But I went out, and it was Queen Elizabeth Drive out there, driving out there. I had a black Toyota Celica. I remember driving out, and I remember thinking straight away, oh my God, I've got to go and pitch this idea to someone who I don't even know who they are, don't have an appointment with them. I'm going to have to go cold calling, etc. And I was like, I started to sweat, and I started to sweat, and I was like, I started going round and round and round and roundabout, not even wanting to go in, right? I was starting to be petrified, and I started to really second guess what I was thinking about. Why did I leave that job? What am I doing here? And then for some reason, I plucked up enough courage, and I drove into New Brighton there. And all of a sudden I'm in this, I see this where I was going to go, this bar, and I go in there, and it would have been about 11:30 in the morning. And I remember going in and, talking as the gentleman, as the boss there, and he was like, yes, I'm the boss, I'm the owner. And I remember saying, oh, my name's Scott, and handing over this kind of business card, which was, the plastic toothpicks with my face on it and an opportunity for advertising. And I remember sort of saying to him, I've got a great opportunity for advertising. You can advertise your brand on here, just kind of like matches. They do it with matches and etc. And he kind of like, he knew that idea. He was kind of receptive to that idea. And then I opened up, and it's quite unique. These are these plastic toothpicks. And I vividly remember looking at the plastic toothpicks. And then I remember him, he walked kind of away. And he walked down one end of the bar, and he started, grabbed a drink. And he started pouring this pint of beer And I was like, whoa, I've cracked it here. This is good. We're going to have a drink. Like it's 11:30, but you know what? My nana would have a drink at 11:30. 11's is on a Sunday. Let's go. And he brings this pint, and I just look at it, it's a cold glass of beer. I was like, you beauty, I've been sweating. I could do with that drink. And I vividly remember him on the way back, he just leaned over and he grabbed what I thought was a wooden toothpick in his hand. And I was like, when I stirred it, I was like, oh, it was. And he vividly remember him saying to me, and he goes, see this, laddie? And he holds up this pint. People want this, laddie. People want this. See this, laddie? And he holds up this wooden toothpick. He goes, people need this, laddie. People need this. And here's the thing. People buy what they effing well want, not what you effing well think they need. So get them out. And I was like, whoa. People buy what they want, not what you think they need. And I was like, I was out the door. I was gone. And I didn't really capture it. I didn't really think, what's going on there? What happened? I was out the door. And he kicked me out. And then I got out the door and I sat in my car and I went, whoa, what happened there? And at the time, it wasn't really a lesson that led me into marketing. But I just remember him saying, people buy what they want, not what you think they need. Man, and I started to think about that. I'm pitching something here that I think people want. You know, and actually is a need. And people don't buy what they need, you know, they buy what they want. And for me, I got in the car, and as I was driving back, I realized I'd made a mistake. I'd left a good job to go and sell something I thought people needed. You know, the reality is people, when they came into Bond and Bond, they wanted that TV. You know, they wanted that microwave. And they came in with gusto and passion and wanting it, you know. And a lot of businesses I see, and, you know, let's fast forward 25, 26 years later, I'm in marketing and I own a couple of businesses now, and you've got to be I'm having my eyes open all this time. I see people selling too much of the need. You know, you're marketing too much of a need, and you're not focusing on what people want. You may actually have a product that people want, but you're marketing it like a need, and that has to change, because here's the thing. There's a world of opportunity out there when you start to tap into what people want. You start to use their language, their goals, their desires, their fears, their frustrations, their problems, their want for your solution. And when you can market yourself where you can position this need, you know, or into a want, you know, you can actually position it. And if it's a good product, it definitely deserves that, right? So I want the lesson here is I want you to stop focusing on either building a need product or marketing it in a needy way, right? Focus on what people want, and I tell you what, a world will open up to you. And for me, I'm so glad I got that lesson. I'm so glad I sweated going round and round the roundabout, you know, because I realized cold calling wasn't a great way to grow a business. Definitely isn't long term. Cold calling is for short-term gain, but it's not for long-term branding and long-term building a business that you can really scale exponentially. So I hope you're sitting on the beach. I hope you're having a great time these Christmas holidays, and just let that lesson sink in. Maybe over the next few days, are we marketing ourselves so that people want to do business with us? You know, are we positioning ourselves so people want to do business with? Do people know where we are? Do they know who we are? Do they know what we have to offer? Do they know why they should do business with us and want to do business with us? Some questions for you to ponder. All right, hey, really appreciate your time. Thanks for listening to the Marketing for Business podcast. Thanks for listening to my story about plastic toothpicks. I keep these as a memorabilia, and I tell people about my failures because I think it's a cheap lesson for people to learn. People buy what they want, not what you think they need. All right. Thanks for your time. Have a great day. And as always, just share this podcast.